Hello there, Reject Nation. Looks like that gosh darn Robert Pattinson and his little Batman movie just causing so much drama out there in the world of Warner Brothers still to this day. It's almost as if these channels that do movie news, weirdly, their movie news only being dramatic movie news.
It's as if they needed a conflict.
That they need this movie to have production delays and drama in order to thrive, right?
Well, yeah, every production delay is just an opportunity to showcase what potential drama could be behind that.
I think some people are really under this misconception when they come to our videos that if we are simply talking about a leak or rumor.
It's true, I believe it.
People think just that we think that, when in reality what we do is we go through it, assess, weigh out some stuff,
probe it.
And I feel like most of the time we walk out going, no, I don't believe it.
I'm not really in line with this. This sounds like BS.
They're fun to cover, though. They are fun to talk about. I think they're amusing, and because this is the Batman, we're gonna get people coming our way. But basically, here's the deal, guys. The rumor is, and got this off of boundingintocomics.com. Saw this circulating around because, let's face it, Batman will be in the Real Rejects algorithm search feed all over Google and social media. Warner Brothers thinks the Batman is terrible and may delay it again to 2023. Okay.
Good.
Let's see why this article is saying this. These have all been so ridiculous. The Batman could yet again be in serious trouble, as according to a new rumor, the film has been the subject of frustration and negativity all the way to the top of Warner Brothers Studio. Si, senor. Of course, none other. A source close to YouTube scooper Dictor Von Doomcock tells the future ruler of Earth that the bloated and beleaguered production could face another delay, and in the process become the most expensive movie ever made. More than Evan Almighty? I don't think so. John, take that. What does that say?
Ooh, at the top of the discussion about this rumor, it should first be noted that even Doomcock himself has stressed he is skeptical about the information he presented and urged viewers to take it with the usual grain of salt.
That's reassuring.
That is, especially coming from Doomcock.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt, man. Oh. I mean, his videos are entertaining, I gotta admit, even though 99% of the time I don't believe it. Regardless, the word from his source is that the villains vexing the Dark Knight this time are studio executives. There's always the most dramatic, weighty words. Yeah. The villains vexing the Dark Knight this time are studio executives who've seen the movie and are, of course, not happy. Okay, so that's what it is? Yeah. All right. I mean, that could be real. We've seen that with Warner Brothers
a lot of times with Warner Brothers
and other movie studios all the time.
And even before WB got like a very public reputation for doing that, they had been doing that.
Yeah, okay, we gotta be fair. Maybe
it's possible.
Following the wrapping of filming in March, Matt Reeves reportedly screened a rough cut of the film for studio executives, after which they freaked. No, this movie's horrible. What? Don't watch it.
What is
We
this?
cannot release this.
Oh, he's not buff enough.
As noted by Doomcock, the reaction was similar to those of Star Wars and Star Trek fans who saw The Last Jedi and Into Darkness. You see, you could do this with any movie. Any movie you could do this with. So they screened a rough cut. Pick any upcoming movie you want to name. And they could just easily go, studio execs freaked. No specific studio execs freaked. Right? Like, they don't say which ones. They just got to say studio executives freaked, and fans who are disappointed with other franchises before liken it to kind of this experience. It's really easy to do that,
especially with a franchise as big and with as much mythology as this one.
Yeah, it's just like when it's WB, like WB has clearly created a reputation for themselves, and I would say like they've kind of made an enemy out of a lot of fans. Pretty obvious,
unless you're Godzilla, yes.
But even with Godzilla, there was some crap that was going on, all the champion restoring the Snyderverse and such. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I like a heated shouting match.
Oh, yes.
And then they just completely lost any believability there.
A heated shouting match allegedly ensued between the execs shocked by the shit they watched and Reeves, who struck back at the very same executives who didn't listen to his previous complaints about Robert Pattinson. Oh.
Okay. Fair enough. If they really didn't want to keep Robert... No, I don't believe this.
I mean, how much can you clash with your own star? I don't know. I mean, it's happened for sure, but this seems like it was written out of a comic book or like a movie.
You know what big movies will do in situations where it's this heavy of a, especially if it's a heated shouting match. They're saying it's between the execs, right? Reeves got involved in this argument and participated in said shouting match. I think that, we've seen it with like Rogue One. We've seen it with Justice League. We've seen it. So maybe they're like, oh, after replacing a director with Justice League, we can't do that again. Maybe. Sure. There's always a possibility that something is going wrong just because studios have this happen to them. Warner Brothers has definitely had this happen. And right now I could see a scenario where Warner Brothers is like very much, we got this whole Snyderverse fan base who keeps coming down on us whenever we put out anything. I feel like there's also the other arguments who goes, I don't think they really even care about that. Yeah. So I don't think it's true. Surprisingly, despite the stories about the former Twilight star's failure to work out and bulk up his dalliance with co-star Zoe Kravitz, his attitude on the set, and how awful he looked in the suit next to the stunt players, the studio's problem is apparently with the film's Bruce Wayne stuff.
Huh.
Interesting spin. Doomcock hears the action scenes are fine, per se, because the action was cool in the trailers, so you can say stuff like that here.
Yeah, because there's evidence.
But the producers are mulling the possibility of reshooting the scenes of Pattinson as the billionaire playboy for whatever reason.
The shouting match was the reason.
I feel like that is so... I feel like if anything, that would be the Bruce Wayne stuff he could easily pull off.
Absolutely. You don't need to do much except
Robert Pattinson act.
Yeah.
Apparently are the least expensive parts of the film again, and Warner has the budget very much on their minds. The Batman, so goes the intel, is ballooned to a cost of nearly $400 million. And WB wants more to show for it than a cut of their losses by dropping it in theaters and HBO Max as is. They're not going to drop this on HBO Max.
Well, no. This is the biggest thing arguably on their horizon. Why would they do that?
No,
and especially, it's still a ways off anyway.
I think after 2021, seeing that midway through 2021, the theaters are bouncing back pretty strong.
Yeah.
Even with a couple of their own movies like Mortal Kombat and Godzilla vs. Kong. Next year, they're going to go, we're not doing that. Put it on HBO Max thing,
I'm pretty sure they've already said, that was only for 2021. We're not doing that anymore.
Doomcock adds that while bad movies get released all the time, the Batman must be a special kind of terrible, given how it's drawn such a nuclear reaction of ire. Good word again. This scoop could be another one of the tinfoil hat crowd, but it sure makes it sound like Warner is regretting letting Zack Snyder go. And then there's the agenda right here.
Yeah.
Lucky for them, there may still be a time and a demand to restore it. And this is why these stories are getting pushed, and it just ends right here. What do you know?
This is not the way to restore the Snyderverse.
We're champions of the Snyderverse. But I also want to see this Batman movie be awesome. And I feel like they've been trying to take this movie down with the weirdest behind-the-scenes drama they could just conjure up.
Matt Reeves is unprofessional and crazy, and Robert Pattinson doesn't care.
I think any one of these news stories, there was the comment that Pattinson made about the working out, which got him in some trouble because he did that in an actual interview and said that. But I'm pretty sure there was a sarcastic edge to what he was doing.
Yeah.
But everything else, by now, a legitimate, a Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, they would have gotten a hold of one of these things if it was actually true.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, didn't Robert Pattinson just sign a first look deal with HBO or WB or somebody in the family over there? If they hated him that much or were so vexed by him,
That's a strong point, man. Also, at the end of the day, what they'll want is, as long as they can keep getting good trailers out of it and knowing they'll sell tickets for it, because trailers speak much louder volumes than anything else. They're going to be sent in their ways. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Do you believe this? Leave your thoughts down below.
Is the Batman in trouble?
Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. Feel free to recommend any other stories our way that sound like a fun time going through.